So you want to go on a cruise vacation, but due to the growing popularity of cruising, the cost has risen in the last few years. However, a cruise is still a great way to stretch your vacation dollars, especially because of all the included amenities that come with cruising, like food, entertainment, and destinations, much like an all-inclusive resort. Well, there are ways to get the most bang for your buck when it comes to cruising. So here are 5 tips to get the most out of your cruise vacation while not breaking the bank. Going on a cruise requires first traveling to a cruise port, which for most people can mean flying and at least 1 or more nights at a hotel, which can add $600 to $1,200 a person to the cost of a vacation. But there are more and more cruise ports now, and many are close enough that a lot of people can drive within a day or two. We're lucky enough, living in the greater California Bay Area, that we're less than a day's drive to 4 different cruise ports, including San Francisco, Los Angeles, Long Beach, and San Diego, and we're just a couple days' drive to the ports of Seattle and Vancouver. Folks in Florida have lots of well-known ports to choose from, like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Port Canaveral, and Tampa. But along the Gulf Coast, there are several growing cruise ports that can serve people who live in the South, like Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans, and Galveston, Texas. Up in the Midwest and New England, you can get to Boston, New York, or Baltimore. And if you're more inland on the east, in addition to some of those northeast ports, you can get to Jacksonville, Florida, Charleston, and Norfolk, Virginia. At least 1 or more of these ports are available within a day or two's drive to a lot of us, which can drastically reduce the cost of travel by eliminating the need to fly. If you're lucky enough to live very close to a cruise port, you can drive in and out on the day of your cruise and the day you disembark, saving hotel costs as well. If you have to fly to get to a cruise port, learn to pack light. Almost every airline now charges extra for checked baggage, but many still allow at least 1 carry-on bag for no extra cost, and some allow a carry-on bag and a backpack. So if you learn to pack all your necessities into a carry-on and a backpack, you can avoid the added charges for checked baggage. And another tip for this, if you aren't a fan of toting around a carry-on bag on the airplane cabin, almost every airline I have traveled on offers free checking of your carry-on bag at the terminal when boarding, because more and more people are only bringing carry-ons. So you can't drive to the port the day of, but maybe you can make it the night before, but you have to have a hotel the night before. It is often much cheaper to get a hotel outside of the major area around the cruise port. It can be much cheaper to get an Uber from a cheaper $200 a night hotel an hour or 2 away from the cruise port than to book a $500 a night hotel walking distance from the port. And if you do some research, you might even find a hotel an hour away that provides transportation to the cruise port as a perk, and even avoid getting an Uber. Now, all cruise lines offer some sort of prepaid drink package that can reduce your cost per drink while on board the cruise. But some cruise lines allow you to bring your own drinks on board before you cruise that you can take to your cabin. And some cruise lines allow you to bring more at each port you visit. This can include 1 or 2 bottles of wine per adult, or a 6-pack of beer, or even soda or bottled water. Speaking of soda and water, the free water, juice, and iced tea on board the ships is a great included option if you don't have to have bottled water or soda all the time. And don't forget that you can always stop at a convenience store at your next port of call to get your Coke Zero fix for that day. Don't forget that this is not the same as buying a bottle of rum in the Caribbean or tequila in Mexico, as most cruise lines will confiscate those and not return them to you until you debark the ship on the last day. However, if the cruise you book does allow you to bring on some wine or beer, this can reduce your cost of drinks while on board the ship and might just make it worthwhile to opt out of the drink package. Speaking of drink packages, many cruise ships offer special drink packages a few days into your cruise that are much smaller than the regular drink package you can get, so that you don't have to drink 7 drinks a day to get your money's worth. For instance, Royal Caribbean often offers a 10-drink total package at a discounted rate a few days into the cruise. And some cruises offer specialty coffee cards where you can get a set number of specialty coffee drinks for a discounted price, sometimes adding up to just $2 a coffee. Cruises have added lots of upcharge food options in the form of specialty dining. However, the included food is in most cases very good, with a large variety to choose from, especially when it comes to the buffet. But the included main dining can not only be a culinary delight, but is also a great experience with service that can rival some 5-star restaurants. And the main dining room is often open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Pro tip: it's okay to try something on the main dining menu that you've never had before, only to find out it's not something you like. You can always send it back and get something else. And if you find something you really like, you can order seconds. Although some items, like lobster, might cost a little extra for a second helping. Also, keep an eye out for some times when the specialty dining restaurants are free, like on Carnival cruises when the Italian specialty restaurant serves lunch at no extra cost. If you find these tips helpful, please make sure to give us a like and subscribe to the channel. It's free for you and helps us out a lot. So there are 5 tips to save money when booking a cruise vacation. Comment if you use any of these techniques, or if you have any other tips for cruising on the cheap. Thanks to our subscribers, and thanks to you for watching.